That's Jackie D'Amico, and he passed away.
Okay, I think this might be streaming to Stories with Ori on YouTube. I might have been able to do it, Bill.
Have you ever had any dealings with Jackie D'Amico?
No, I don't believe I ever met Jackie, although he does look familiar. It's funny, he was 86. Jimmy Cacci was 86 years old when he passed through.
Jackie D'Amico, yeah, 86, and he died on the 27th of December.
Did he die at home peacefully?
Yeah, not in
Uh,
prison, but he rode with John Gotti to the end. He wasn't like a lot of these other guys that take the other route. He rode it out to the end.
yeah.
Randy Marshall, what's going on, man? Thanks for joining us. Ori Stacks, what's up, gentlemen?
Hey, everybody.
Steve,
I want to,
Steve
just
Roden.
before we begin, I hope and wish that you all had a very happy and prosperous, a very happy New Year, and that you were very safe. And let's have a happy New Year, folks, and make it prosperous to boot. That would be great. So,
Uh, Ori's been catching a lot of shit this week on the sunny shit. As far as I'm concerned, Ori's as solid as they come in my book.
you know what? Let me tell you a little story, guys. You all probably realize, okay? Many years ago, what was his name? Ron Perlman from Florida. There was a guy who was a vice president at Clear Channels, and his wife wanted to manage this singer. And she was in Florida and spoke to Ron Perlman. And Perlman said, "You got to see Ori Spado in Los Angeles."
Oh, Perlman was the guy that represented the Backstreet Boys and all them guys, right?
That's right. That's right.
Perlman, yeah, I remember the name.
So he referred her to me. Her husband calls me. I get this call clear out of the blue sky, and his name was Tommy Nast, Nast. Great guy. He was a vice president at Clear Channels. So he called me up and he says, told me the story and that he'd like to meet me and wanted my advice. So I said, meet me at the Four Seasons at 5 o'clock. So he said, how am I going to know who you are? He said, just ask anybody there. At 5 o'clock, I walked in, he came right up to me. So we sat down and he's telling me the story. And he tells me he's originally from Rochester. And his real last name was Nasto, and how they changed it. Well, we went from managing that artist to, he asked me, he says, can you get my brother, Peter James, back on the ship? I said, why is your brother's name Peter James? Your name is Tommy Nash, and your original name is Nasto. What's going on? He says, my brother, Peter James, is a ghost paranormal. He's discovered more ghosts than anybody well known. Did it down to Queen Mary when Disney owned it. I said, let me make some inquiries. I said, and see about this, Sheriff. So I go down to Queen Mary. I'm sitting with Joe and Howard, president, vice president. I said, what about this guy, Peter James? Oh, yeah. Joe said, yeah, he's good. He's got some ghosts he talked to down at the pool. And yeah. I said, what can we do with it? And they said, let's do it, start tours again. So we begin these ghost tours. And because there's some areas down on the bottom of the ship is very narrow, you could only get like 30 people in one ghost tour.
Yeah.
So and we charged, I think it was $100 a person that was for dinner and the ghost tour. And I got 10%. And we did a Friday and Saturday nights. So I went to the first one, and the first one was like December the 27th, 2 days after Christmas. And we're packed. We got 30 people. They're having dinners, and we have a question and answer.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at these people, and a lot of them are from out of town. They're not from Los Angeles or Long Beach. So I asked for a raise of hands from the out of towners, and I get a whole slew of them. So I said, I'd like to have a few words with you. And I take him to the side and I ask, well, I imagine you folks were probably visiting relatives or somebody for the holidays, and that you saw Peter was here, you came. They looked at me like I was the biggest idiot on earth. They were from New York, Amarillo, Canada, all over the country. I said, holy shit. Why didn't I get a part of the hotels and airline flights too? I think to myself.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, it was very, very successful tours. We did it every Friday and Saturday night. But what I learned about the ghost tours, and paranormal is very big. It's bigger than the mob genre.
It's
Okay,
huge.
it's
Yeah.
huge. Okay, it's not just the believers that make it happen. It's the non-believers that make it happen. Okay, so now I got a lot of people that hate me, but I got a lot of people that love me. And you know who's the master at that there? All right. I mean, he is the best. There's nobody better at that there. He's been doing it all his life. He's a master. His name is Donald Trump. Okay.
100%.
He does it like he's a genius at it. You got to give him credit. Okay. He's got half the country that loves him, half that hate him, and he don't give a shit. And you know what? Ori Spader don't give a shit either.
Bill
Okay.
Stacks don't give a shit
Tell
either.
you the truth like it is. I will not give you misinformation. Like a lot of people give misinformation. You know who I detest more than rats? The so-called mob historians. Are people lazy today? People are really lazy. There's a video of me that's been up since the 90s, I think. Somewhere in the 90s it was posted. And it says Teddy Persico posted it. Now, we got maybe one real gangster in this room because he wrote me. He said, it's not what Ori's saying, it's what Ori says between the lines. One guy caught what I was saying last week. Okay? So I'll make that clear again. Mob historians, or even you people, you go through Google, you see, and it says Ori Spader is rats. Listen, that nobody listens to the tape. Nobody. And they see the Teddy Persico posted.
Yeah.
First of all, now if I was an investigative reporter and I was stationed in New York, I try to get on the visiting list at NBC to visit Teddy Persico and ask him if he posted that. And I could guarantee you on my life and on my children's life,
He didn't.
he did not do it.
I
Show
know.
me one Persico that's on social media. Never
Michael
happened.
Michael
Who?
Persico. Michael
Who?
Persico. But he's not in the light. Michael Persico is on
No,
social
Michael
media.
Persico is not.
But
He's the only one that's not in the life.
He's not in
He's
the
a nice
light.
young kid. Yeah. But anyway, I wanted to share that. So, whether you love me, you hate me, you know what? You could count on one thing from me, and that's going to be the truth. And, I want to tell you a story. Johnny Franchese was like a nephew to me. He called me uncle. And when he came out here with Michael, and Michael got him a very nice apartment in Brentwood, I remember it, okay? Michael sincerely tried to help his brother out the best he could. And there were a lot of times that Michael and I were together in Michael's car, driving around town looking for Johnny. So, let's get this thing out of the woods here. Now, I tried to help Johnny many, many times. One evening, my son used to do parties at nightclubs, and Johnny wanted to come. Johnny was stoned out of his mind. I told him, no, you can't. He came, we took the taxi to my house. Johnny used to take taxis, never paid a taxi cab driver. But anyhow, that's another story for another day. Okay. But I got John in the Thalians over Cedars-Sinai Hospital. Now they'll hold you for 72 hours. I get him in there, I come home, and I knew that day I drove Johnny someplace, and the guy made a mistake when he came out of the house. I saw his face, and I had the feeling Johnny was buying drugs from him. And Johnny told me it was a music deal. Well, that night, I'm at the club. I'm waiting for this fucking guy. And then I see a guy in the middle of the floor, and I went up, I grabbed this motherfucker. All right, and then my son and a couple like, Dad, that's the wrong guy. So now I'm outside, I'm waiting. The guy pulls up in a taxi. He gets out of the taxi. I grabbed him. I said, come here. I said, you remember me? I was driving a car this morning. You think you're gonna meet Johnny. He's not here. I said, no, I'm gonna tell you something. I said, isn't it beautiful fresh air? I said, take a deep breath. Do you enjoy breathing that air? Yeah. I said, now I'm going to tell you something. The next time you sell Johnny any drugs, you're going to be taking your last breath. Trust me on that, I said. I come home after the party. I'm in bed. There's a knock at my door, 4 a.m. Now you got to remember something. I always lived in security buildings. But Johnny was good. He used to know how to get in. I don't know how the fuck he did it. But he used to get in. He's knocking right on my door. I get up, it's Johnny. Uncle Laurie, why'd you leave there, Johnny? Oh, Uncle Laurie, just let me sleep on your couch. No, Johnny, you can't stay here. I should stay right there, made him stay at the doorway. I got dressed. And I'm thinking, I got to put him in a hotel. Okay.
Yeah.
So I drive him to Santa Monica. Would you believe every hotel and motel that I went to on the beach, they were all fat, no vacancies. So now we went, there's on Wilshire Boulevard, there's a coffee bean. Went there, we're having coffee, and next thing you know, the sun's coming up. And I said, listen, I'm going to get you over to Michael's house. Now, Michael never wanted anybody to know where he lived, of course, but I knew the area. So I said, John, I'm going to drive you over. I'll drop you off a couple blocks away. Go to Michael's. I dropped Johnny off. It's maybe 6:15 a.m. in the morning.
So he was on a bender the night before. Huh? Oh, he was on a bender the night before, right?
Look it, I dropped him off. I did not hear from him for a year. For a year.
Yeah.
And then I get the phone call. Uncle Laurie, you're going to be proud of me. I've been sober for 1 year. I like you and my cousin Anthony to come. They get, what do you get for 1 year? You get a medallion or
you get a coin. A coin,
yeah. Chip or whatever they call it.
Fact, I got mine right over here.
Yeah.
Yep, somewhere in here.
So my son and
get one of these when you get sober for a whole year. I got 5+ years. Yeah, I got 5+ years. So, you know, I always recommend people go to meetings. If you're struggling with drug addiction, just know it's not over. You can start your life over right now. It doesn't have to be.
That's right. You can do it if you want to do it.
100%.
Okay? What happened on that morning when I dropped Johnny off? See, you never know how it's going to come. But Johnny heard voices coming from a building. And he went in, and it happened to be an AA meeting. And Johnny just clicked with the people, and he became sober. Now, 1 year, my son and I, it was down in Santa Monica, that area where John's meeting was. And John gave an awesome speech. it was fantastic. John's a great speaker. I'll tell you about that. He really is good. Okay, when he talks about that subject, he knows what he's talking about because he's been through it.
Yeah.
And here's what he said. He says, my uncle and my cousin are here. I'm so happy. Maybe now my uncle will allow me back in his home. And me and my son standing there, we were standing there. And of course, I allowed him back in my home. And that's how Johnny became sober. And then he worked in a house, in these rehab houses. And one of them was off Washington Boulevard. I would go down, visit him once in a while. And he was doing good. And
Reese Mack, how you doing?
Johnny became, now, I want to ask you a question, okay? Now, you were a druggie, right?
I was a drug addict, alcoholic. I've recovered from the addiction, man.
Now, let me ask you, I want to ask you a question just for the hell of it, okay? And for anybody out there, all right? How many druggies or alcoholics invite their drug dealers when they're going to get their first coin, okay? How many?
None.
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 All right? So this rumor of me selling Johnny drugs, what the fuck? I don't even, never dealt in those kind of drugs he did. I did deal drugs. I dealt marijuana. And I shipped it from Arizona to New York. 500 pounds every 2 weeks. Yes. You want to call me a drug dealer? Call me a drug dealer. I don't care what you call me. All right? But it was marijuana, folks. Okay.
We got Reese Mack from London. Shout out to you, man. Thanks for joining us today. I appreciate it.
Hey, Reese, how are you? I just spoke to my mate Joey Pyle over in London today.
Shout out to Joey Piles, a great guy. Weed isn't a drug. Everyone loves weed nowadays.
Yeah. So anyway, that's that story. You can believe me, don't believe me, I don't give a fuck either. Okay? And I say fuck a lot, so forgive me for that there. Okay?
Ori, if Carlo Gambino was the boss of bosses, how and why did people call the chin Capo di Tupi Tupi Capi the boss of bosses?
I have no idea.
I don't believe
I don't. I never heard them refer to the chin as that.
So I got a question for you, Ori. A lot of these people, right, that are on the internet and things like that, I mean, the only reason why they're on the internet is because they cooperated. But there are some stand-up guys out here on the internet. Shout out to Joey Merlino, Ori Spado. There's people that other people can look up to on the internet that are stand-up guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, one thing, now with me, for those of you who have read my book, I read my book with the intention, and I stated in my book, if I could help one young man stay out of the life or stay out of a game, then writing that book was well worth it. I have mentored several young men to get out of a life, get out of a game. In addition, I mentored them, okay, in becoming an entrepreneur because I happen to know about business. Okay. Yeah. I'm good at business. And, you know, and I'm very good in the motivational world. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, Facebook, or other places, okay. And all the speeches I had not gone out giving speaking tours as a gangster. I've been invited on speaking tours for my motivational abilities of helping people become better.
You've been to other countries and everything, right?
Yeah.
You were invited to the Mob Museum.
And the epilogue of my book, you know, and I say it there, folks. If we all hold hands together, we all can make this world a better place. Listen, 100%. You read my book, you'll see that I knew Frank Costello, Meyer Lansky, Russell Buffalino, Carlo Marcello, and I can name it and name it and name it. Okay. I knew these people. I spoke with these people. I had dinner and lunch with these people. I'm in my 80th year on this earth. Thank you, Lord. I don't know, but give me another 25, okay? I'm not leaving till I'm 105 years old. So I'm going to be here and I'm going to have the fucking energy I got right now. So call me an old man. But please, I don't want no sympathy that I'm a poor old man, like somebody stated, and I'm not going to tell the name, and that I just recently filed a bankruptcy. Well, you know what? If you Google that bankruptcy, you will see that it in Florida. You will also see that there's another Orlando Spado. So this is what I mean about people giving misinformation. I don't think he meant any well intent, any ill intent from it. But and I got nothing against him. I got nothing against Sandy Patty. I wish her all the best. Okay? I have nothing against these people. You want to come after me, come after me. Okay? It's okay. I appreciate it.
What was Carlos Marcello like?
Carlo Marcello was, all these people were gentlemen. Very much a gentleman.
So they didn't act like big mouth gangsters and trying to be a tough guy, prove how tough they are. They didn't act like that?
No. Actually, I was there to see him on a legitimate business deal at, I think it was the Colonnade Hotel, where he had his offices in New Orleans. And you got to understand, I talked with these people, we have lunch. They never told me we did this, we did that. But during the conversation, it's like with Sonny, okay? And Michael said it, and Johnny has said it, okay? You'd be driving around with Sonny. You'd be on the Beltway, on the LIE. I don't give a fuck what road, any place with it. Sonny goes. All right? And, I could determine who he's talking to. And, it was not Johnny. Also, I want to state this here. Everybody's upset that Johnny's the one who destroyed his father. Yeah, it was terrible that Johnny wore the wires. But it was not the conversation that Johnny had that really hurt Sonny. The ones that hurt Sonny were the ones with Gaetano Furtado. Well, big, tough motherfucker, and he was the weakest punk of them all. Okay? That's how these tough guys are. All right? And whenever anybody tells me, son, don't go near that guy, he's an informant. Don't go near that guy, he's an informant. That's the informants.
100%.
All right. Usually. But anyways, folks, so I wanted to tell you that story. And I got to tell you something. Look, I'm not happy with what Johnny did, but I'm proud that Johnny has stayed sober and he's still sober.
Yeah, he's sober now, right?
Huh?
He's sober now.
He's sober now, and I think he's still working in one of those sober living homes. So, give the guy credit where credit is due. Okay? Nothing wrong with that.
It's a battle, man. Sobriety is a battle, and it's not easy, but it's worth it. 100%. I would rather be sober, thinking about getting high, have a little, mind games playing on you where you're thinking about it, but you're not reacting on it, than being on drugs thinking about getting sober. I would rather that any day, and my worst day sober is better than my best day on drugs.
Hey, listen, a lot of people have written me and called me and asked me, why do I go on chatting with Stacks? Well, Stacks, like a lot of us, is loved by some people and hated by other people. Okay? But, I've been with this kid since the beginning. I love his enthusiasm. I watch him grow. He works hard at what he does. I'm proud of what he's done. And he also realizes the fact that I don't come to work for nothing. Okay? So if you can, please donate to Bill over there. He's got his Cash App up there and so forth. So please help him out because, folks, I don't work for free. All right. I want you to know that. Thank you.
And I value your time. Your time is valuable. You know what I mean?
In addition, okay, Bill has not bought one of my books. He bought two of my books.
No, I bought 3 of your books. Sorry, I bought a book for someone else too.
Oh, okay, bought for somebody else. All right, he bought my very first book that came out, and then he bought my last book that came out. Okay, and Bill read the book before he interviewed me. And I will not do an interview with anybody unless they read my book. Okay.
You got to have that the thing in the back. What's it called?
The index. Yeah. I got an index.
You got to have an index in the back.
I got court documents. Now, of course, folks, look, I didn't know Sonny Franche. And I got to admit, I gave you misinformation when I said I knew him for 50 years. I did the math the other day, and please forgive me, I was off. I've only known Sonny for 45 years. So please forgive me for that misinformation. I wanted to get that clear.
That's pretty misleading, Ori.
Yeah,
5 years different. Terrible. So I got to ask you a question because some people have asked, right?
How many people we got here?
We got 54 in the house right now. And okay. Ori's YouTube channel is starting to go up. So make sure you go over there and subscribe to Ori's channel. We're trying to get him to 1,000. We're almost there. He's at 908 right now. And it's been rising up steadily. You know, I just passed 8,194 subscribers. So my next stop is 9,000, and we're going to the top. And I'm not a mobster. I'm not a gangster. I wasn't involved with that life. I'm just a normal guy who got sober. And look how far I've come. And it's about persistence. It's about being on time. It's about doing it. If you don't feel like doing it, you have to follow through. Be accountable, you know?
Hey, Bill, if you're not drinking this here yet, this is the best drink I've ever had. My refrigerator is stocked with it.
What is it?
Snapple Apple Zero Sugar. It's the most refreshing drink you ever had. At least
Snapple Apple is pretty good.
Yeah, it's really good. Snapple Apple. So folks, go out, go to your grocery store and get Snapple Apple. You're going to love it. Trust me.
So you're from New York, and a lot of people said, "Oh, he must have got chased out of New York." Do you want to tell me about when you were living in New York and you first left and went out to the West Coast?
Well, okay. First of all, let me make this very clear. Nobody's ever chased me because I never ran from anybody. Okay? I'm just make that clear. I got out of the Army in 1966. Wyatt Earp. We got Wyatt Earp here. Good. I hope you got your gun with you, Wyatt. Okay. 1966, I was engaged to a beautiful young lady whose family lived just a few blocks from me over here in a multi-million-dollar mansion. Father owned department stores. And she was Jewish. We fell in love and we were engaged to be married. I had a job lined up with Pan American Airlines in their personnel department here in Los Angeles. And when I got out of the Army, I got discharged out of Oakland and flew down. And I was staying at the Hilton Hotel here in Beverly Hills. And she came over and she was crying because her father was against marrying me. And if she married me, he would disown her.
Oh, so you guys were stuck in the middle with battling with the father.
I was not Jewish. She come from a very old Jewish family. Her father had already had her husband picked out. And
I mean,
now
it's
I gotta,
understandable, right? You
now
understand
here
that?
I am. I'm 21 years old.
Yeah.
I gotta make a decision. There's no way I can support this girl in the means and ways that she's been accustomed to. Okay? I know I got a long ways to go before I build my life up.
Yeah.
So I told her, I said, you gotta go home. I said, because it would destroy our marriage. Okay, because she would have to live with her father disowning her. I sent her back home and we cut off the marriage. And of course, I had another phone number. I had a girl from Covina. Her name was Anna. I remember her name. I called her over. We made love. We went to bed. I got up in the morning. I put my uniform on. And I got on my last flight that I was able to fly for as a military guy. And I flew back home. My father was sick. And I ended up back in Rome, New York. And you read my book, you'll see from there I grew the insurance industry. I became very big in the insurance industry and other businesses, real estate, etc. Okay. And then through the years, I eventually met all these people, including Sonny Franchese. It's all in my book, folks, on how I met Sonny. Exactly, word for word. Okay, you could believe it. What do you think? I fucking made this shit. This is about my life. This book is not about the life of Sonny Franchese. This book is not about anybody's life except mine. It took me a long time to write it. It was very difficult because I had to relive my life. And in addition, I had to be very careful of what I was writing. And the first person to read the manuscript was Anthony Brooklier, who was one of the best criminal defense lawyers here in Los Angeles. You all probably know him. He represented Heidi Fleiss and a lot of big people. All right, until Danny gave me the approval, it went no place else. And he gave me the approval. And from there, it went to Jack Gilardi and Nick Pileggi. Okay. And now, folks, the rest is history of what's happening. Stay tuned because in a few weeks, I'm going to be very much more busy than I am right now. A lot of things are happening. Now, how much time we have, Bill?
Now we're at 36 minutes.
And you go how long?
No, 4 more minutes. We're good.
All right, folks, I'm going to give you another story. Seeing we're on the subject of Johnny Franchese, who do you think was the first person to find out that Johnny Franchese was on a Woodside program? Well, he's talking right now, and his name is Ori Spado. And let me explain how that. Sonny called me. Oh, by the way, I didn't know Sonny, but he had my phone number. He had my phone number at every prison he was in. He wrote me from every prison. I happened to be at his house every time he got released. I know his wife, Tina. I'm going to tell you, Tina's one of the best fucking cooks you ever wanted to see, boy, because she cooked.
Is it sauce or gravy with Tina?
Oh, my God. Tina is.
Do they call it sauce or gravy?
Sauce.
I gotta ask. What do you call it, sauce or gravy?
I call it sauce now. Pasta sauce. Everybody does.
Not everybody.
It used to be gravy.
I asked somebody the question today, and they said gravy. So
gravy.
Everyone doesn't call it sauce. I gotta ask that question.
Well, anyway, so now Johnny called me up, and Johnny was looking for a car, and he was going to buy a car from somebody in the program. Sonny asked me if I would check the car out, make sure it was okay. I said, certainly. I called Johnny. He said, Uncle, he said, once I get the car, I'll be right over. And this is on a Friday. And he said, I'll be there in an hour, an hour, an hour. He don't show up.
Is this after he got sober? It's after, right?
This is after he got sober. Yeah, he's been sober for a while now. Yeah, he's been sober for a while. And so now he calls me up and he said he had to pick the car up out in Pasadena and he's going to stay with a friend that's in the program and he'll be at my house in the morning. I said, okay, John, I'll see you in the morning. In the morning, no Johnny, I'm calling. Tina's calling me. Sonny's calling me. We're all calling Johnny. And finally, you can't leave any more messages.
Yeah.
Okay. And my first thought is Johnny fell off the wagon. He'll be knocking on my door looking for $40. Okay. That was his magic number. Okay. When he was looking for a fix. But there was no Johnny. Sonny asked me to fly back to New York, which I did. And Sonny stayed with me at the Warwick Hotel. And there was a meeting that took place at the Warwick Hotel. Michael Carapano was there, Guy Furtado, a couple other guys. And nobody knew where Johnny was. Nobody heard from Johnny. But now I'm flying back. Me and Sonny are standing in front of the Warwick Hotel, waiting for Chris, who was Sonny's driver, to pick Sonny up, waiting for my driver to take me to Kennedy. And I told Sonny, I said, Sonny, if you want, I said, I got a good private investigator. I said, I could send him out. He said, don't bother. His driver comes, picks him up. My driver comes. I go to Kennedy. I check in. I go up to my gate. I put down my luggage. And I always got to sneak into the men's room. I'm going to tell you now, if you might catch me, I sneak in the men's room and have a cigarette before my flight.
Sneak in and have a cigarette.
Yeah.
Don't do that nowadays, man. They'll put you in federal prison for that shit.
So now I walk out and two young guys come. Ori, my first thought is these young kids, maybe they're friends of my son's and they recognize me and they're on the flight and then they put their credentials out, FBI. We need to talk to you. They took me to the side. They say you could stop looking for Johnny. He's with us. I said, well, that's good. I said, then at least we know he's alive. I says, I'm going to call his mother and father and let them know where their son is. They said, we prefer you do not do that. I said, I'm going to do that. That's the mother and father. They have a right to know where their son is. They says, Mr. Spado, we're going to give you one last chance. This is your very last chance. You could come on our side, be with us. Otherwise, this is going to be your last commercial flight for a while. And I kindly said in the way that I told them before, go fuck yourself. And that was, they were correct. That was my last commercial flight for 5 years. From then on, I was flying Con Air, folks.
Were you shocked that he was cooperating against Sonny?
Sonny never thought that he would really take the stand. He really didn't. For some reason, he thought somewhere in Johnny's head that Johnny might change his mind. But, you know, it's a shame. Look, I was on, Johnny was taping me too. Sonny wasn't the only one who was taping. He was taping me, taping Michael, and taping other people. And when Guy Furtado came out here, unbeknownst to me, him and Johnny knew each other. But Sonny didn't even know that. And Sonny asked me to introduce Guy Furtado to Johnny. So Johnny came up and we had lunch at the Ivy. And I sat between the two of them. And they both had fucking wires going. Yeah, I listened to all that in New York. Let me tell you about tape phone conversation. If you're on one tape, it's one too many. And look, they don't put the wires on their chest like you see on TV. They wear it in their watches, in their eyeglasses. You can't tell.
Yeah, so if they search them down, they're not gonna find it on you, right? They're gonna have it like embedded into their clothing or something.
Yeah, look at the technology they got for that today is forget about it. I mean, they're good. They can sit outside your fucking home and they got those things they put out the window and they can listen to your conversations.
All they got to do is turn your phone on. They can listen to what you say all day long, right through your phone. It's not hard. You don't even need to be on the phone anymore. They can just listen to your phone. So do you think that they're still surveilling people out there like they were back then?
I think their surveillance techniques are a lot different than what they used to be because of the technology. Listen, in today's world, if anybody wants to go into a life of crime, you're fucking crazy. And if you're going to do anything, you do it by yourself. You don't tell nobody else. You don't whisper it. You don't talk about it on the phone. But even then, they got cameras in every corner today. They got cameras to do everything. You go into a store, they got facial recognition. They got everything, no matter where you are. You're going to get caught.
Yeah, you're not getting away with anything. So Wyatt Earp says, how well did you know Johnny Boy Gotti?
Johnny Gotti? John Gotti Sr.?
Yeah.
I didn't know him well. I met him on 2 different occasions with Sonny. But otherwise, I can't say that I knew him well. I met him. I got to tell you, John was a good looking guy, very cordial, very cordial. I mean, if you met John, you can't help but like him. Okay? Very personable. And, look at the guy was the boss. Yes, he was a little flamboyant, but hey, who am I to judge? I can't judge other people. I can only judge what I do. I'm responsible for myself. I've done a lot of bad things in my life, but I take full responsibility of everything I've done. The good, the bad, the ugly. I don't blame anybody else for any of my problems. I don't blame the informants because I was stupid enough to talk to them, so I got to blame myself. Okay? It happens.
But you didn't take an oath. Like these guys out here, right? A lot of these people on the internet, they took oaths. Some of them did. Some of them just want to be gangsters. And they tried to live that life of crime and claim that they were this, and they clearly weren't. But you didn't take that oath where you chose that gangster life over your own kids, your wife. Like when you take an oath, you're saying you're giving up all your man responsibilities to be a gangster. Giving up.
Look at your first family is La Cosa Nostra once you take that oath. Okay? Your family, your wife and children become secondary, if that.
Did you ever want to be a made man, Ori?
I never wanted my button. It was never a dream of mine. Sonny wanted to propose me. Jimmy did propose me, did get it approved out here. And I refused and refused and refused. Jimmy and Sonny were two different guys. Sonny be pounding on a fucking dime. Fuck Jimmy Kachi, you're with me out here. And Jimmy say, fuck Sonny Franchise, you live in California, you're with me. And all I wanted to be was by myself. You're my guys are my friends. Okay? I done my own crimes on my own time and my own dime. And trust me, crimes I done, a lot of them I had to invest money. People don't understand, even as gangsters. It's like a legitimate business. To make money, sometimes you got to invest money. I did.
A lot of times, and some of the times you won't get your money back.
Sometimes you don't get it back.
Whole program ends up going to shit, and you lose all your money. You don't make no money, so you're just paying to lose all your money, basically.
Hey, look at it. I probably was one of the most hated guys. I know I was the most hated guy by the FBI out here in Los Angeles. Because the biggest mistake of my life that I did. And I had 12 tapes. I destroyed them all. 12 tapes that I recorded the FBI. When they say they only want Italian, not Russian, okay. And I was taping them.
Yeah, but some people out there will say that you're a cooperator because you even participated in any type of shit like that.
Yeah, they will. They can suck my dick too. All right. All right. So that was the biggest mistake. The FBI agent I did it to got demoted, was put on the fugitive squad.
They were pissed. They were pissed.
Oh, they were pissed. Forget it. Do you think the guys in La Cosa Nostra were close in the old days? These FBI agents are much closer guys. And they got, look at the last count that I had, I think I put in my book, they got over 34,000 people. They got all the time in the world, and they got all the money. If you think you're going to beat them, good luck. Okay? Good luck.
It ain't going to happen.
Just not going to happen.
Well, a lot of people, I spoke to a lot of people about you, and a lot of them respect you, and they say, Ori's not pretending to be some gangster that he's not. He puts it out how it is. The accidental gangster. You weren't trying to be a gangster, it just kind of happened. Right?
That's right. I wanted to be me and just who I was, and that was it. You know, and things turned out the way they did. If I didn't know Sonny Franchise, I never would have been on that indictment.
Did Ori ever put work in, or was around when it was being done, whether a beatdown or worse?
Let me repeat this. My name is Ori Spado. I was never an informant. And I will never discuss the secret things that I do know that I have heard, okay, with anybody. Not you, not the FBI, not my children.
You know,
I was in my 30s. I think I was.
How old were you?
Shit. 21. Then I came in 71. All right. So in 71, I was 21. And 66. Then I was 27. I lived out here 1971.
He said, do you believe Michael Franzese is still involved with the mob? Absolutely not. They don't want nothing to do with him.
No way in hell.
Not at all.
No way in hell.
Any stand-up guys don't want nothing to do with cooperators. No. That's the bottom line.
Listen, you know, I talked to you guys. I said some things. And, I could pick up the phone and still call some people back east. Okay. Some people who were on my indictment. If you want to go look it up and see who was on my indictment. Okay.
It's in the back of the book.
It's in the back of my book.
Go get the book.
All right. And by the way, when I was recording the FBI, because I know the rules, the politics, and everything about La Cosa Nostra that you have to know, as though I took the oath, okay, I still obeyed those laws. Although I never took the button. What was I going to say? All right. I wanted to tell you and make this very clear. I knew that what I was doing, recording them, could possibly get me in trouble.
Could get you killed.
All right. And get me killed. All right. I went on record. Sonny was in prison. I went on record with Joe Todaro. Jimmy Cacci went back to Buffalo with a tape. I gave Jimmy one tape. He went back. He and Joe called me from La Nova, Joe's pizza place. Joe was laughing. He wanted me to keep doing it so that I would know what the FBI were doing.
Yeah.
But I was on record. And then when the FBI told my lawyer, we'll give Ori one more chance, I was out here. All right. And I told him, tell them to go fuck themselves. Okay. But then I asked my lawyer, what does one more chance mean?
What did one more chance mean?
The lawyer didn't know, but I figured it out. So I went to Frankie's restaurant, which used to be a hangout back in the days, over on Melrose Avenue. I grabbed a couple guys. I said, somebody's going to come around and tell you that I'm a rat. That's the rat. Let me know who it is. I got the phone call. Kenji Gallo. His real name is Kaneko. His real name is Kaneko. Now, if you read, I don't know how this ever happened. I don't know how he got tied up with a few of the guys back east, close to Teddy Persico. And when Teddy Persico got out of prison, he was there with some girls from the porn business in a limousine, and he gave Teddy a gift, a fucking cell phone.
With a bug in it.
With a bug in it.
Yeah.
Now he's responsible for Teddy doing a bit of time on some stuff. I can't remember what it was. Okay.
The truth be told,
Brooklyn, MDC, all those guys, they were waiting for me. All right, because he was writing about he had a blog on the computer, writing about me and these other guys. I didn't know these other guys until I got to prison. Then we all met and we were fucking laughing. Okay, because everything he said was a goddamn lie.
A lot of people will, stretch the truth, get their own ass out of trouble. A lot of people do that type of shit. Truth be told,
money though too. There's some people are broke and they figure a fucking way. I don't know what they do it for. I don't know why. And trust me, it was not Sonny Franche, Frank Costello, Carlo Marcello, or none of those guys. They're not the ones who taught me, did not teach me how to become a rat. It was my father. My father at a very young age. When I hired, I was supposed to spade the garden. I hired somebody to do it. My father came home from work, and he was so proud. What a great job you did. And my sister was there. He said, he didn't do it. He hired Lauren Cromby to do it. He paid him 50 cents. And my father spanked my sister.
But tell me,
never squeal on anybody. That was the lesson. That's what I learned. Okay. Now, my father did look at me. He says, redo
it. Yeah, so you still got the shitty end of the stick, right?
Yeah, still had to do it again.
Truth Be Told says, I heard William DeMeo is going to play Ori in the movie The Accidental Gangster. Who's going to play you, Ori?
I don't know.
Tom Cruise, right?
Nah, I wanted Denzel Washington, but he's getting old now. People go, why do you want Denzel Washington? Denzel Washington could say more on screen than anybody else without ever uttering a word. The guy's fantastic.
He's a great
So
actor.
that's the type of guy I would like, but it's not going to be up to me, folks. You know, we have some people in mind. We know who's going to be the first one to read the script, but I can't guarantee whether he'll take the part or not. But I know he's going to read it. I'm not going to mention his name, but if that does, the women are going to flock to the movie theaters. Trust me.
Hey, I don't know if I'm available then, Ori. No, I might be. Well, thank you so much for this. I really appreciate you coming on. We got a lot of information for the people. And if you're watching this and you're not subscribed to Ori Spado's channel, go subscribe to The Accidental Gangster. I'm going to put a link in the description.
No, Stories with Ori.
Yeah. Or look up Ori Spado.
And you can, go ahead and subscribe to my my website too. And you know, folks, there's a lot of information that I do have that I'm not going to be discussing on the air, and I'll be telling stories in a new platform soon to come, where I'm going to tell you a little bit more. All right, because you know the information that I got in this head is so valuable that it's unreal. But you know, folks, at the end of the day, I'm going to be 80 next December. And by 85, I want to be retired. What do you think? I think 85, I'm going to go and retire.
I don't see you stopping anyway. Even if you did retire, you'd probably still be working.
I can't stop. It's in my blood, and I got to keep going. And you know, I'm very blessed. I'm very fortunate. And one thing I've always had is the ability to continuously make money. You know, I thank the Lord for giving me the mindset, the brain, the energy to be able to do it. And I am a very blessed man. You know, 10 years ago, I was in prison. 10 years ago, in July 13th, it'd be 10 years this July 13th, be 10 years that I was released. And to be living here in the middle of Beverly Hills, eating at the finest restaurants, and I came out of prison, I had $150 to my name, folks.
Now you're living it up amongst the movie stars.
I'm not a multimillionaire. Trust me, I'm not. Okay. I don't need it. All right. I can only wear one pair of pants at a time. How you doing, Mickey? Nice to meet you, buddy.
Thank you, man. This has been a great information. Go subscribe to Ori's channel. I appreciate everyone that takes the time. We're gonna have some more information for you guys soon. Just stay tuned.
Do me one favor, folks. Go and subscribe to my YouTube. Get me over to 1,000 tonight. I really be appreciated. See you all the next time. Take care, Bill. God bless. Everybody be safe and be happy.
Make sure you end that stream. All right. If you guys like this type of content,
how do I do that?
I'll tell you in a minute. Give me a second. If you guys like this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you don't like this content, too bad. Start your own podcast. If you want to donate to the show, you can hit up my Cash App. It's Chatting with Stacks. You can hit up Venmo, PayPal, Super Stickers, Super Chats, all that good stuff, or Zelle. I appreciate every single one of you, and I'll see you soon. Thanks, Ori.
Thank you.